The first season was about, first off, introducing and really solidifying who this Olivia character is. Why is this woman so specifically important to this Fringe division? So we went through and we introduced this great, typical JJ, this great hard-ass female character. You know, just the facts, ma'am, always pointed straight ahead, distracted by nothing. She's going to get her man or monster, depending on which story it is.
I love the relationship that my character has with Olivia, with Anna's character. It's really touching. I mean, he really loves her, but he can't communicate with her, but he cares. But he also sort of manipulated her when she was a child, so he'd have a fair degree of guilt.
The progression of Peter in season 1 is exactly what you just said, that he went from a very, very, very reluctant character in this world to somebody who started to enjoy his father, you know, got sort of drawn in by the idea of having this father figure, and then at the end, you know, whereas Olivia is this hard-ass cop who is always just, you know, strong and investigating, Peter has no purpose. If he wants to pull the ripcord, he can leave at any time. And the thing that hooks him in is that he gets to see behind the curtain. You know, Walter is the Wizard of Oz, and these guys are doing, literally saving the world on a week-in, week-out basis.
It's interesting with our show that a lot of people say, oh, when is there going to be a love interest? There was one. It's in the first episode. And it was Olivia, and she had her heart busted.
She's always dealing with these losses, you know, like a loss of her partner, a loss of, you know, her innocence, for want of a better word. She's a bird with a broken wing a little bit, kind of has to, you know, heal a bit.
But I kind of like that loneliness that all the characters have, rather than having the comfort of a relationship, except with each other. And when we need each other, we're there for each other.
A guy who's traveled his entire life and always done everything by himself, all of a sudden has this bizarre family unit, you know, the father figure, Olivia, who's sort of part of the family, even, you know, Astrid is part of the family now, so I think he sort of takes on that mantle and starts enjoying being responsible to something for the first time in his life. And then, I'm assuming that the end of this season is going to be that Peter finds out what everybody else already knows, that he's not the man he thinks he is.
It was very poignant, that moment with the grave. And I also think we know we needed to deal with the alternate reality, which was the final scenes with Anna crashing through and doing the scene with Leonard Nimoy.
We did end with a big cliffhanger, and we sort of had a lot of, you know, but if you watch the show, you can see that all of those things have been placed, you know, in, and actually it's not such a surprise. So, you know, the parallel universe they'd been alluding to for quite a while, and there are other things that they've been alluding to that I won't say that I think are going to come up. So I have my own theories, obviously.
Leonard comes back in season 2, which is a great compliment to us to have, you know, a legend, really, coming to work with us.
At the end of last season, Olivia meets William Bell, and I've finished that conversation with him, so hang in there.
We have to deal with the fact that someone has crossed dimensions, crossed to an alternate reality, and we do. I think it's done very elegantly, to be honest with you. I'm most impressed with the way the writers have come about that, and we do examine what happened to her and what the long-term effects of that are going to be, and that'll be an overarching theme through all of season 2 and 3. Anna's character, Olivia, is the most fascinating because she's dealing with the horrors she dealt with last year. Now she's dealing with the horrors of being the one person that we know, except for Walter, that's crossed over and come back, and dealing with this horror in her life, which of course for Anna gives her the chance to show her incredible acting skills, which she has, as well as the running, jumping. Walter will still revert. See, we don't know how much memory he can recall. We don't know how long it'll last for. And one of the tiny little things we do in the show to help that along is with the Astrid character, where he will remember her name sometimes, but then he won't. Just like little short-term memory. So we keep that in as a little motif. What happened to his memory? And that's going to be a major issue some down the track. Did he just lose it, or something else?
We're shooting episode 5 at the moment, which is a very cool episode, and we're finding out a whole lot of very cool stuff about Broyles, actually, which is very fun, because he's been like a bit of a, you know, mystery. You're not quite sure, but we're sort of getting a little bit to the bottom of him, and it's been beautiful working with Lance, who I'm just a huge fan of, anyway.
It seems like it's pushing into a slightly darker place. That the repercussions of the finale of last year and the beginning of this year takes the show into a slightly, not more maudlin, but just a slightly more somber place, because now the threats are real, and like I say, we put one of our characters in mortal jeopardy right from the very beginning. And then we spend the first 4 episodes really hopefully pulling at the audience's loyalties, because there's a massive betrayal happening inside the group. So I don't think that the storytelling has shifted, other than to say maybe it's a little bit darker this year than it was the first season?
I think last year everyone was sort of reeling from all of these, events, and the events also kind of took everybody, it was a surprise, and everyone was off guard, but this year they're sort of almost seeking it, like seeking the answers, whereas last year it was like a lot of backpedaling and sort of trying to catch up. But this year definitely seems a little bit more proactive.